Hello, everyone. My name is Dave Zamilio, and I want to start this presentation by saying that this is for the class through Grand Canyon University, EDU 585, and this is my presentation script on adult learning and curriculum design. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to be here with me today. As educators, we've all experienced professional development that left us excited to return to our classrooms. But we've also all sat through sessions that felt more like checking a box than meaningful learning. In my experience as a 7th grade social studies teacher, the difference usually isn't the topic, it's how the learning is designed. When professional development is relevant, interactive, and respectful of teachers' experiences, it becomes something educators genuinely value instead of simply endure. Today, I'd like to discuss the importance of understanding androgyny, or social learning theory, and how it can help curriculum leaders design professional development that motivates teachers and leads to meaningful growth. Malcolm Knowles is widely recognized as the father of modern adult learning theory. He believed that adults learn differently than children and identified 5 assumptions that should guide instruction for all adult learners. The first assumption is self-concept. Adults see themselves as independent learners and want some control over how they learn. In professional development, this means giving teachers opportunities to make choices, contribute to discussions, and reflect on their own practices instead of just listening to a lecture. The second assumption is experience. Every educator enters a professional development session with unique classroom experiences, successes, and challenges. Rather than ignoring those experiences, presenters should encourage participants to share them. Some of the most valuable ideas that I've gained during professional development have actually come from conversations with other teachers, not necessarily from the presenter. The third assumption is readiness to learn. Adults become motivated when the learning helps solve problems that they're actually currently facing. If teachers are struggling with classroom engagement or student behavior, they are much more likely to invest in professional development that offers practical strategies they can implement immediately. The fourth assumption is orientation to learning. Adults tend to prefer problem-centered learning rather than learning information simply for the sake of knowing it. As teachers, we constantly ask ourselves, how can I use this in my classroom? Professional development should answer that question by providing authentic examples, modeling instructional strategies, and allowing participants to practice new skills. The fifth assumption is motivation. Although external factors like certification requirements or salary advancement can encourage participation, Knowles argued that adults are primarily driven by internal motivation, such as becoming more effective educators and improving outcomes for their students. Understanding these assumptions is important because professional development should ultimately change instructional practice. If teachers leave with ideas they cannot realistically use, the learning experience has limited value. As curriculum leaders, our responsibility is to create learning opportunities that respect teachers' time and provide meaningful support. One best practice for accomplishing this is making professional development interactive. Adults learn best when they actively participate rather than passively receive information. Instead of spending an hour presenting slides, facilitators should include collaborative discussions, problem-solving activities, case studies, and opportunities for teachers to share successful instructional practices. Research on multimedia learning also emphasizes that engagement increases when learners actively process information instead of simply listening. Another best practice is ensuring that learning is immediately relevant. As a middle school teacher, I appreciate professional development that gives me something I can use the very next day. Sessions that include classroom demonstrations, lessons examples, or ready-to-use instructional strategies are much more valuable than presentations focused primarily on educational theory. Teachers want to leave with practical tools that positively impact student learning. A third best practice is encouraging reflection and collaboration. Professional learning should not end when the presenter finishes speaking. Giving teachers time to discuss new ideas, reflect on their own classrooms, and collaborate with colleagues helps deepen understanding and increase the likelihood that new strategies will actually be implemented. Some of the most meaningful professional developments that I've had experienced include opportunities to work with fellow teachers to adapt new ideas for our own classrooms. As curriculum leaders, we also need to recognize that every audience is diverse. Cultural, ethnical, gender perspectives influence how people communicate, how they interpret information, and participate in discussions. Presenters may unintentionally choose examples that reflect only their own experiences or overlook perspectives represented within the audience. To reduce these biases, presenters should intentionally use inclusive language, select examples that represent diverse students and educators, encourage multiple viewpoints, and create an environment where participants feel respected and comfortable sharing their ideas. Being aware of our own assumptions and actively seeking different perspectives strengthens professional learning for everyone involved. As educators, we ask our students to be lifelong learners. We should expect the same of ourselves. Professional development should inspire teachers, challenge their thinking, and provide practical strategies that improve instruction. When curriculum leaders understand how adults learn, professional development becomes more engaging, more meaningful, and far more likely to create lasting change. I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Every professional development session represents an investment, not just of time, but of trust. Teachers trust that what they're learning will help them become more effective educators. When we honor that trust by designing learning experiences that are relevant, collaborative, practical, and inclusive, everyone benefits. Teachers leave feeling empowered, classrooms become stronger, and ultimately, our students receive the greatest benefit. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.